All right, I'm almost done with the bridges, as you can see here. You can kind of see the shiny that is on the Utah Northern Bridge here. And that's because I just finished sealing them with micro flat from nscale. I normally would just use Krylon Matte Finish 1311. However, the last time I used it with the Utah Northern decals, I don't know if it's because of the age of the decals, if there was something just weird with it. It actually ate some of them. And since this is going to be kind of a front and center bridge, I didn't want any of the decals to be ruined. And so I just used the micro flat since I had some on hand. And then everything is pretty much done except for bridge tracks. The colors that I ended up using, I don't remember if I said or not, for the two bridges here, it is the Army Painter's War Paint, or Army Painter War Paints Wizard's Orb. I just like that color. And even though it's not the right color for the Riverside transfer, I'm using Angel Green, mainly because it's what I have and what I painted the switcher in that I have with it. So really, like I was saying, all that's left is getting the tracks on them. And these two bridges that are just the steel truss, or whatever they're called, I can't remember off the top of my head now. Or steel girder, that's what they are. Not steel truss, but steel girder. Came with bridge tracks, and I need to clean them up. You can kind of see the edge where they cut it is kind of mangled, but that's okay. There's plenty to have extra. And then this piece just screws on to a couple of screws. You can kind of see them, at least there on the right, and just screws in from the bottom. And then the ballast bridge, according to micro engineering, you just use regular track and then ballast it. So that's where we're at. I'm just going to let these sit overnight and seal up and get working on the other projects that I need to get done with it. So we'll be back with an update later. Here is another project that I'm working on for the new module that I'm building. I decided to do some oil pumps, and I will be animating them. I don't think I'm going to use the motorized motor that they sell as well. I was thinking more of trying to just do it with an Arduino. And if that doesn't work, then we'll fall back. But anyway, we're going to start working on this, and we'll be back with an update in just a little bit. I wanted to put some hardboard on the front to kind of carve down and make mountainy area of how I wanted it up here, at least on the sides. I don't know if I'll keep anything up front yet. Still in the early phases of that planning. But then I decided to just take the other half and put it along the backside, since I had, an 8-foot length of piece. And it was a foot tall, and I'm only using 9 inches of the bench work, but I figured that would be good to just put the scenery down. I don't want to have anything too tall, at least permanently mounted on here with, this is pretty much getting in my car how it is. I have a little bit of wiggle room, but kind of gave myself no more than a foot tall. So that's where we're at. The next step that I'm going to do is get the plan back up onto the top of the module, look at where everything's at and mark it down, meaning where the bridges are at, so that I can cut this piece out and any divot that I need to on the top. And then same over here. But then also I can draw in whatever I want down here and go with that. So that is where we're at. I also will be cutting off more back here. Oops, get in frame. More back here so that there's some scenery stuff in here. So it may even trim back a little bit there. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. That's where we're at, and be back with some more work. Okay, another thing that I'm working on for the module is getting all of these rock molds done. Well, not really molds, but castings. And had enough hydrocal to do one complete set with the 3 molds that I have. This big one, and then there's 2 assorted smaller rock pieces. And this is the first batch that's sitting, kind of just drying out still. And I have the other batch that's over, poured, ready to go, or it's poured. It's about halfway done drying. So that is some of what I'm going to be putting on there. I also just recently restocked and have 25 pounds of Sculpt-A-Mold. So we'll be probably working on some of this scenery come tomorrow. I'm just been working on some of the oil pumps. So we'll be back when I have a little bit more to share. All right, the final update for tonight, as it's getting late. I did get the track plan up here onto the module and got spots marked out that then I could draw in the track plan loosely as to what it's going to look like. And with getting that on there, I was able to then mark the abutments of the bridges, and we'll just get these out of the way for now, and see where it's going to be at, kind of look at it a little bit. And then once I did that, I brought them out just to see what it was going to look like, and pretty happy with it. The other thing I did, and I'm not going to show the front side because I can't lift it up with the bridges on there, but I marked down what I wanted to do to cut out with the fascia here, and I'm going to go down probably all the way to the plywood, have kind of a hill piece in the middle that, this has just been kind of eroding down, and then coming back up over here. But we'll see. This is kind of I'll cut how I feel like I want to when I'm cutting, so, and just kind of go from there. The other thing I did was kind of loosely put where I want the oil pumps. I think it'd be cool to have one on each side facing, 2 different ways and pumping. I think that'd be cool. And then I am going to cut this back a little bit to give just a different kind of way on it and give me a little bit more space here. I may end up trimming just a little bit of this to give it a curve instead of the box, but we'll see. I can always just fill in a little bit of oh, excuse me, put some foam and Sculpt-A-Mold there. So, and with getting a 25-pound box of Sculpt-A-Mold, I should be fine. Anyway, that's where I'm going to cut out for there. That way I've got a little bit more room to this, and I might even have this side be elevated a little bit so that that's like where a river would have been going. I just was noticing this. The other thing is I'm tempted to leave another space that I could, in theory, put a third track and then have this be a true N-track module as well, that, I would just get some different legs for. Not 100% sure on that. We'll see, how that comes. At least for the show that I'm trying to get this prepped for, I'm not going to have that third line. It'll just probably be an option there. And then lastly, the Atlas Bridge, I had been putting in as 6 inches because that's how far the track sticks out from the sides of the bridges. And I completely forgot and had this marked for what a microengineering bridge would be. And unfortunately, that would have left me with, a good inch gap that I would have had to fill. And so I haven't decided if I want to do it on this side or if I want to put it on this side, but I may end up just kind of splitting it so that, it still lines up with where it needs to be track-wise. But we'll kind of just see how it goes. I may just move it a little bit. I don't know. We'll kind of just play that by ear as well. Kind of mull over it tonight and see where it comes, how it comes out tomorrow with thinking about it. So anyway, that's that for this update. I'll be doing some cutting tomorrow, and probably will get cork put down, and then that way I can start doing the rock in that. I do have 2 batches of rocks done, having those done, and then both of the oil pumps built, and just need to code the Arduinos and servos for that. I have high hopes, and I don't think that there should be any reason I can't have this ready for the train show. But we'll see how it goes, and we'll see everybody in the next update.